So on this channel, I've learned a lot about Canada, but I want to see if there's things I still don't know. So that's why I'm looking at this video. It's called 25 Things You Didn't Know About Canada. I'm sure there must be things on this list, maybe even all, that I don't actually know about Canada. So hopefully they're interesting. If you're from Canada, you can tell me if you know these things. Tell me what interesting things about Canada I should know. Let's check this out.
alux.com. Luxury and fine living. 25 things you didn't know about Canada. Today we'll be looking at one of the most respected countries in the world, Canada. This amazing country of maple syrup, moose, hockey and the birthplace of Justin Bieber is filled with interesting things you might not know about. Let's see what we found. Number 1. The residents of Churchill always leave their car doors open in case someone needs to make a quick escape from the polar bears.
Wow. Straight away, I don't know that. I never have heard about that before. I guess it makes complete sense if you're in an area where there's a lot of polar bears. You should probably always have that safety measure in place. Tell me if you've been to Churchill. Do you come into the vicinity of polar bears that close? That's an issue. Must be an interesting place to live or visit if that's the case. The car doors are always open in case you need to escape polar bears. Have you ever known anybody that's had to escape from a polar bear or any other wild animal?
Number 2. Most of the bottled water has lower quality than their tap water.
Wow. Okay, now I know that tap water would be good quality in Canada. It's the same in Scotland. We have great tap water. Really does taste very nice. Tastes a lot better than bottled water, especially when it's in the winter and it's very icy cold coming out of the tap. But you'd think that like these bottled water companies would have like certain standards that they would have to adhere to that would be higher than just tap water, but I guess not. Tell me if you knew that. What do you prefer drinking? Do people actually drink bottled water often in Canada? I guess if you've got good tap water, you just fill your bottle all the time.
Number 3. Canada is considered the most well-educated country in the world. Over half its residents have college degrees.
That one I already knew, and that's one thing that really I admire about Canada is the education level. If you're from Canada, tell me how proud you are of that. Tell me if the people in Canada are like more intelligent. You can tell that when you're speaking to people in Canada, in your opinion, compared to people from other countries.
Number 4. Every year, Canada's post office receives millions of letters from children that are addressed to Santa Claus. They respond to each one of them.
Well, every kid gets a response. Tell me if you've ever written a letter to Santa in Canada and received a response. That's a brilliant thing. I know my son would absolutely love that. He loves Christmas, loves Santa. I mean, he loves getting presents, let's be honest, that's the main thing. But I think that would be such a special thing for a child to remember. Pretty
Number
cool to
5.
respond to everyone.
There is a part of North Canada that actually has a lower gravity pull than the rest of the world.
What does that mean? How does it actually show itself, or what? How does it actually affect people? Is it underwater?
Number 6. In 2006, a man rescued a baby from a dumpster, and later he found out he was the father.
A man rescued a baby from a dumpster and found out he was the father. How would, like, so I guess it was dumped there by the mother, and then how would he, so he just coincidentally happened to be there after the child was dumped by the mother? Surely he would have known or had an inkling or something. Tell me if you know about that story. Tell me more about it. Give me more context. Seems coincidental.
Number 7. The Yonge Street in Canada is considered to be the longest street in the world, with a length of 1,896 kilometers.
Tell me if you've ever driven on that. Where does it go from and to?
1,178 miles.
Huge.
Number 8. Canada is one of the most peaceful countries in the world. They don't have any mass destruction weapons.
That I can imagine.
Number 9. They have an island called Dildo.
I don't know what to say about that. Why? Does it have another meaning in some, wherever it is?
Number 10. After the Pearl Harbor attack, Canada was the first country that declared war on Japan, even before the US.
Okay, that one I actually never knew for some reason. I've watched things about Pearl Harbor before, but I never really heard that fact. Is that well known? Was it just preemptive from Canada? Did they think maybe they would be attacked next, or did they just want to do it in support of the USA?
Number 11. If you want to learn more about Batman, now you have the chance. At the University of Victoria, you can attend a course called The Science of Batman.
I guess some universities do have these quite random courses. Tell me if you've ever heard of anybody taking any of these very unique courses. I don't know what this is to do with physical and health, exercise science, physical and health education. Interested that it's linked to that. So it's about the extreme range of adaptability of the human body explored through the life of the Cape Crusader, examines human potential using Batman as a metaphor for the ultimate in human conditioning. Interesting. I think that makes it even more interesting. You're not just learning about Batman, which you would think maybe from an artistic point of view or filmmaking point of view. It's about his physical capability. Pretty cool, actually, in a way. I'd love to know the actual content of the course and how it's
Number 12.
taught.
The police department in Canada will give you a positive ticket if they see you doing something positive.
I mean, that is very Canadian, stereotypically Canadian. Is that true? Has anybody actually received one of them? Have you ever received one of them yourself? It's pretty cool. I mean, you always hear about bad things, people getting arrested for this and that, man. Like, you should always celebrate people who do good things as well. Encourage
Number
good
13.
behaviour.
The Americans tried to invade Canada twice. One time in 1775 and the second time in 1812. Both times they failed miserably.
Failed miserably, not just failed.
Number 14. In Canada, the currency has Braille markings for the blind people.
Yeah, I think that's great, man, definitely. Obviously, it helps people who really need it. Is that uniquely Canadian? Do you know of any other countries that have that as well?
Number 15. Canada has several national parks that are bigger than countries like Albania or Israel.
Okay, I mean, I obviously knew about the national parks and how beautiful they are. I knew they were big, but when you actually put it in the context of comparison to a country, Albania or Israel, that's mad. Obviously huge places.
Number 16. Canada only has 198 jails, and one of them is the world's smallest jail in Rodney, Ontario. It's only 24.3 square meters, 270 square feet.
270 square foot. That's about the size of my bedroom, I think. Is it? Yeah, probably actually, but is that a real jail?
Number 17. The lowest temperature registered in Canada was minus 63 degrees Celsius. Number 18. Canada is the biggest consumer of macaroni and cheese in the world.
The biggest consumer? When it said it loves macaroni cheese, I was thinking, yeah, me too. I love macaroni cheese. Like, definitely very enjoyable, very good. The biggest consumer? How's that even measured? Tell me if you love mac and cheese. Why is it so heavily consumed? When you think about it, really, what other countries would consume it so much? It kind of makes sense in a way. I would have thought maybe the USA. I know it's quite important in barbecue meals and things. Yeah, interesting. I never knew.
Number 19. They have the largest oil reserve after Saudi Arabia and Venezuela.
I don't think I knew that fact in itself. I knew they produce oil, obviously, in Alberta. The third biggest reserve in the world. Okay. I mean, you better not declare that to the USA or they'll be invading you next.
Number 20. Although Canada was the third country in space, they had the most advanced space program.
That's pretty cool as well. So what's the current state of the Canadian space program? Is it still one of the best? Obviously we see like a lot of private companies now investing in space and things like that as well. Tell me if Canada's still in that space.
Number 21. Prostitution is legal in Canada. Buying the services of a prostitute is not. Number 22. Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world's lakes combined.
What?
Number 23. The first Canadian casualties of the Afghanistan war were from an American pilot bombing a training exercise.
Bombed a training exercise? Wasn't just a case of like friendly fire, like literally bombed a training exercise? Was there any sort of outcry about that? That's just mad.
Number 24. License plates in Canadian Northwest Territories are shaped like polar bears.
Very cool.
Number 25. They invented peanut butter, egg cartons, the Wonder Bra, the Trivial Pursuit game, the walkie-talkie, garbage bags, the baggage tag, the instant replay, and the IMAX. So thank you, Canada.
Yeah, I've watched a video on Canadian inventions before, and like Canada's gave the world so much through its inventions and discoveries. Yeah, interesting list here. There definitely was a lot there that I never actually knew and hadn't learned about on previous videos. So really enlightening, really enjoyed that. Tell me what you think about those. Tell me if there was any on there that you never knew being Canadian. And yeah, tell me if there's anything else that's interesting about Canada that I should know. And yeah, keep recommending other videos for me to watch. Thanks.